News Bulletin. The United States braces for a powerful Arctic outbreak. Polar air mass. Surging south, snow and frigid winds return nationwide. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States is preparing to enter what is considered the coldest weather phase since the start of autumn this year. After a relatively warm and calm week, the weather map shows a large-scale transformation occurring in the troposphere, signaling that a massive Arctic air mass is beginning to surge southward. This cold airflow is forecast to spread quickly through Canada, pouring into the central and eastern United States between November 8th and November 15th, bringing a dramatic temperature drop, biting winds, and the possibility of widespread snowfall. Many meteorologists describe this cold outbreak as the opening strike of the winter of 2025, and it could plunge dozens of states into days of deep, even severe cold. According to the European ECMWF and US GFS weather models, the Arctic air mass will begin moving strongly southward by the end of this week. Before that, much of the US remains under a zonal flow pattern, meaning stable west to east moving air currents that keep the weather mild and steady. However, this calm is about to end as a deep trough forming over Hudson Bay gathers energy, waiting for the right moment to spill south. Initially, it will affect southern Canada, then quickly spread to the Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and eventually the entire eastern half of the country. This shift is expected to occur in less than 72 hours, causing temperatures to plunge by 10 to 20 degrees Celsius below seasonal averages. In the early part of this week, before the cold arrives, temperatures across the United States remain above normal. In the southern states such as Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Alabama, daytime highs reach 28-30 degrees. Meanwhile, western states like California, Oregon, and Washington are seeing scattered showers from two low-pressure systems entering from the Pacific, though no major disruptions are expected yet. The zonal pattern continues to hold the atmosphere steady, keeping the weather calm, sunny, and storm-free. However, this is only the stillness before the icy storm ahead. Beginning midweek, expected around November 7th to the 8th, a surge of extremely cold Arctic air from northern Canada will move south faster than predicted. States like Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa will be the first to feel the biting chill. By the weekend, the cold air will expand into the Midwest, covering Wisconsin, Illinois, Missouri, Indiana, and Ohio. By November 10th to 11th, the outbreak will reach across the east, spanning Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, and all of New England. It is even possible that the chill could reach as far south as Georgia, Alabama, and northern Florida, giving residents an early taste of winter by mid-November. Forecasts indicate that during this cold outbreak, daytime temperatures in many areas will hover around 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit, while nighttime lows may dip to near or below freezing. In the Appalachian Mountains and states bordering Canada, the actual wind chill could drop to 10 degrees or even 15 degrees. Across the central region, from Texas to Tennessee, temperatures are expected to be 10 to 20 below average for this time of year. A particularly notable feature of this cold invasion is the atmospheric phenomenon known as a negative NAO, North Atlantic Oscillation. When the NAO index drops deeply negative, it creates a blocking high-pressure ridge over the North Atlantic, allowing Arctic air to flow freely southward. The collapse of the strong westerly jet stream opens the gate for polar air to spill into the central and eastern United States. This is the direct reason why temperatures will plunge so sharply across the heartland and the east within just a few days. Not only will it be cold, but this Arctic outbreak also brings the risk of early season snow and widespread frost. When the cold mass collides with moist air streaming north from the Gulf of Mexico, many states along the Appalachian chain and Great Lakes could see a mix of rain and snow or even heavy accumulations. According to the GFS model, between November 9th and November 11th, snow could accumulate 10 to 20 cm across northern states, such as Wyoming, Montana, and Colorado. The northeastern region, including Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, also faces a chance of the first snow of the season. The Great Lakes region, including Michigan and New York, may experience lake effect snow, which forms when frigid air sweeps over warmer lake waters. However, the potential for a major snowstorm depends on the precise timing between moisture and cold air, which is difficult to forecast more than 5 days in advance. If the Arctic air coincides with a surge of Gulf moisture, the northeastern U.S. could experience a significant early-season snowstorm, accompanied by strong winds and widespread icing. At the same time, on the U.S. West Coast, states such as California, Oregon, and Washington may see a secondary cold front later in the month, bringing heavy rain to Pacific coastal areas and snow across the Sierra Nevada. Thus, half of the United States will be in deep freeze, while the other half faces rain and wind, creating an exceptionally diverse weather pattern across the continent. Canadian and ECMWF models project that this cold spell will peak around November 10th to 12, when temperatures will reach their lowest levels before the chill shifts westward later in the month. By mid to late November, the cold core will expand into western states such as Nevada, Utah, Idaho, and Northern California. Meanwhile, the eastern and Atlantic coastal regions may briefly warm again as upper-level air currents rotate. Not only the United States, but Canada will also bear the full force of this Arctic blast. In provinces such as Alberta, Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec, temperatures could drop to 10 to 20 degrees Celsius, with actual feels around 25 degrees Celsius in some places. In Newfoundland and Labrador, beyond the intense cold, residents must also brace for a powerful extratropical storm forming offshore in the North Atlantic. The Canadian Meteorological Service reports that the storm's central pressure could fall by more than 50 millibars within 24 hours, a phenomenon known as explosive cyclogenesis, or a weather bomb. Wind gusts around St. Mamas Johns and coastal areas are expected to reach 120 km/h, accompanied by 50-70 mm of rain and waves over 5 meters. Many ferry routes are likely to be temporarily suspended. Meanwhile, Ontario and Quebec will see scattered rain of 10-20 mm today, with winds 50-70 km/h. The Great Lakes region may experience a few thunderstorms, while northern Quebec and Labrador will see light snow. Experts urge residents to inspect roofs, water pipes, and electrical systems before the strong winds and deep cold hit later this week. Back in the United States, national weather agencies are advising citizens to prepare in advance for the coming cold outbreak. Many states have already issued reminders to check heating systems, generators, and plumbing to prevent freezing. In rural areas, farmers are being urged to protect crops, particularly late-season harvests. Northern residents are advised to avoid long-distance travel over the weekend, when snow and ice may make roads dangerously slick. Temperature maps indicate that by Saturday morning, the Midwest and East will be engulfed in Arctic blue. Morning lows in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Nebraska will hover near freezing or just above with wind chills below zero. By November 10th to 11th, the cold air will cover the entire Southeast, sending temperatures in cities like Atlanta, Nashville, Birmingham, and even Jacksonville, Florida, below 10 degrees, something rarely seen this early in the season. In higher elevations such as the Appalachian Mountains, strong winds combined with frost could reduce visibility below 500 meters, making road travel hazardous. Anyone planning cross-state travel or tourism during this period should closely monitor weather forecasts, wear warm insulated clothing, and prepare contingency plans in case of road closures due to snow or ice. According to the U.S. National Weather Service, after this first cold outbreak passes, there will be a brief, mild period, but another cold wave is likely to follow in the latter half of November. This suggests that the winter of 2025 is likely to start early and run long, with potential extreme cold episodes through December and January. Thus, ladies and gentlemen, within just a few days, Americans nationwide will clearly feel the transition from autumn to winter. From the southern plains to the northern states, from the towering Rockies to the vast Great Lakes, all will soon be touched by an Arctic air mass carrying the breath of the polar regions. Even if snow is not yet widespread, the biting cold, icy winds, and frosty mornings will be unmistakable signs that winter 2025 has truly arrived. Please make sure your heating systems are functioning, stock up on fuel, and prepare your warm clothing. In areas expecting early snow, residents should avoid late night or early morning travel to prevent accidents on icy roads. And do not forget to check in on family members and neighbors, especially the elderly, during the coming cold spell. We will continue to provide detailed updates by region, including snow totals, wind chills, and 10-day temperature trends. You can follow upcoming bulletins on this channel for the latest weather developments. Before closing, please press like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss important global weather updates. Thank you for watching. We wish you peace, warmth, and safety during this early winter cold wave. And remember, winter is approaching quickly, but careful preparation today will help us all endure it safely and confidently.